News. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Whitney Sullivan. You may have seen this on social media. Authorities have given the all clear following a reported active shooter on USC's campus. Right now, we are hearing from USC police.
We didn't find any shell casings. The building was evacuated. Students were told to leave everything in the place and to leave the area or barricade themselves into rooms. At this point, we're completing a secondary search of the building with tactical teams. We've checked video. We have no shell casings. We also have received some reports that there have been some other hoaxes at universities, swatting type calls this week, and there was actually one, I think, in Virginia tonight with a similar scenario where there was gunshots, the sound of gunshots in the phone call to the dispatch center. So right now we're standing down. Once we complete the search of the building, a secondary search, we're going to allow students to come back in, get their belongings, and we'll give a complete all clear. But right now it's safe. We've checked the area, and everything seems to be safe at this time.
What do you think about the video that's been questioned?
We have nobody that was taken into custody, nobody that was questioned. We've questioned witnesses who said they may have heard something. We've questioned other students who were in the area, but we have no suspect. We have no video of anyone with a gun. We understand that there's things circulating on social media that people have been shot, and I think one even said someone has been killed. Those are all false. We have no corroboration that there was actually an active shooting.
We know that some people were transported in ambulances. What's the status?
We had a couple of people, I'm not sure of their status. We had a couple of people that had minor injuries from the evacuation because everybody left the library in a quick manner. Just want to commend the students for following instructions and following law enforcement instructions. Also want to thank all the area law enforcement agencies that responded. We had units here from SLED, units here from the FBI, Columbia Police Department is here, Chief Holbrook is here. Just want to thank everyone for responding and assisting us.
We spoke to some students who said they heard some shots fired over at the library. Can you confirm or add to that?
That's the initial report that we received, but we have nothing to corroborate that there were actually shots fired.
There was, I guess, photos floating around social media of a person in black pants.
Yeah, we've seen those. We haven't been able to corroborate that that's here on this campus or that it's affiliated with USC.
Guys, we got time for one more. Scott's got to get back.
Can you talk a little bit about...
Let me just say one other thing. We did have a picture of somebody thought was a weapon that ended up being an umbrella.
Can you talk a little bit about how that system works here when there is an active shooter case and a blast goes out?
Sure. We have probably a dozen or more different mediums that we use to communicate if there's an emergency on campus. We have everything from sirens to TV crawlers to text messages, emails, to get the word out quickly. We actually have a button on the wall in our dispatch center that the dispatcher will hit, and it will activate all these alerts. So that's what we did initially. The initial message comes out very bland, and we follow it up with more specifics, but we want to get that message out immediately for people to take shelter if needed.
Thank you all.
All right?
I will give you an update later if we have one, but come to me if you have any follow-up questions. Thanks.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, well, you just heard from University of South Carolina police about what was what they thought was a possible active shooter. So here are the details if you were just joining us. Around 6:30 this evening, campus sent out an active shooter alert saying that there may be an active shooter at the library. They asked everyone to evacuate, clear out, and to protect themselves as well. Then about an hour later, they sent out an alert saying that there was no evidence that a shooting had happened. Now, there are a lot of reports on social media, everything ranging from I heard gunfire to people being hurt or even passing away at USC. The university police telling us this evening that is not true. Now, there were some people who had to be treated because they were hurt when everybody was trying to evacuate from the library. But again, this evening we are learning that there is no credible evidence that there was or is an active shooter on USC's campus. In fact, a lot of the stuff that you are seeing on social media, you definitely want to double check and vet that, because they're saying that a lot of the stuff on social media is not not true at all. Now, you may remember earlier this week and even this evening, there have been a lot of reports at universities across the country of swatting incidents. And basically, that's when somebody calls in and says there's an active shooter when in fact it's not. It's basically a hoax. And it seems like, based off of what police are saying, that could be the potential for what happened again today at this university. Now, they went in, they cleared the library floor by floor. They said they found no shell casings, no evidence whatsoever that there was or is an active shooter on campus. But one thing that can be said is the massive response that came in after that active shooter call was made. USC police saying they received help from a number of different agencies from around the community, including SLED, including the FBI, as well as the Columbia Police Department. In fact, we are hearing that Chief Holbrook is on the scene right now. Now, this is a very active scene. If you go by USC, you're probably going to see a lot of blue lights on campus because, again, they are working to make sure that everything is safe. But what they have told us just a few minutes ago and what we learned about an hour ago is that there was no active shooter on campus. Again, this was a situation where they had to check reports of a shots fired call and learned that there was in fact no active shooter. Now, one thing that has been trending on social media with this incident is a picture of a person holding something that looks long and black. And the USC Police Department actually talked about that and said what some people thought was a gun was actually an umbrella. So if you see that picture floating around on social media, again, they are telling us that that was not a weapon. It was actually a black long umbrella. That's one of the instances of the social media hype turning this into something that it has not been. Now, again, if you go to USC's campus, you're going to see a lot of blue lights. You're going to see a lot of police, a lot of law enforcement on the scene as they continue to work and contain this. But at this evening, we are learning that there is no active shooter. Now, our team was on campus as soon as this alert came out to get the very latest, and we wanted to give you a listen to what a student had to say about their experience when they received that Carolina alert.
We were coming home from playing basketball and we heard that there might have been a shooter at T Coop. Is at first where we heard about it, and then there was video circulating the internet that there was a guy walking on the bridge towards Campus Village, and it looked like he had something in his hand, and so we thought it was a rifle because it was kind of a blurry video, and so we went to check it out. We had nothing better to do. We want to make sure all of our friends were safe because we got a lot of friends in Campus Village.
I have no idea what's going on. I thought that there was one shooter, then there was two, then there was no shooters at all, so I really don't know anything. So I would say not so much. I didn't know what was going on.
I find it funny that they said there's no evidence of a shooter, but like they had FBI, DEA, cops, everyone out here. So I don't know. That makes me cause for concern that no one really knows what's going on, and it was kind of like a late. I feel like a lot of my friends had more information than what they had.
Again, you heard just some of the reports that were on social media. And again, law enforcement saying that is not true. So to recap this, they responded to a shots fired call earlier this evening. About an hour later, they said there is no evidence that there was an active shooter on campus. Now, News 19 will continue to stay on top of this story and bring you the very latest. But the good news this evening, again, no active shooter on the University of South Carolina's campus. Now, for the latest, you can turn to WLTX.com. We'll also have the very latest on air and on our TV streaming app, WLTX Plus. For News 19, I'm Whitney Sullivan.